Google, Stanford University, Johnson & Johnson, etc. And I would never recommend spending $1 million of your target audience, what messaging resonates with them, what visuals resonate. They spend $1 million and how do they know that it's working? Oh my goodness. I mean, number two, how do you know that it's successful? Well, first and foremost, you're going to look at...
The people keep spending a lot in this target audience and trying to capture a lot, even a big... And Taylor, in this note, where we're talking about the target audience and target market. So actually, a person or a business, how they can determine that if their target market and the efforts they have put on and to capture the target market and audience, how they can come to a conclusion, okay, we have done this well. We have spent like 1 million or whatever, and we have captured this much of target people, and they are who are mostly motivated towards our product or our services. And at which, how we can compare and what are the matrices and how we can find what is the conclusion, how we can, the people keep spending a lot in this target audience and trying to capture a lot, even a big companies, big scale companies. So what matrices, how they can find, okay, we have achieved this? Is based on the sales target or the people engagement level or likes, or because in social media is very tricky, very hard to find the right target audience. Why? I've seen some fake profiles. They have 2-3 millions of followers, but if you go and try to see the followers, you cannot see the hidden. Or if you try to see some followers, they are unhidden, they are bots and all. So how a business, a big scale business or a small scale business come to a conclusion, okay, I am doing well, I'm going in a right path, and the things are working well, and what are the matrices and how they can compare and what to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So very first thing, my ears went, oh no, when you had said they spent $1 million and how do they know that it's working? Oh my goodness. I mean, I've worked with global brands like Google, Stanford University, Johnson & Johnson, etc. And I would never recommend spending $1 million to figure out if you're connecting to the right audience yet. Everything can be done on a small scale and tested and fine-tuned and then expanded, and then tested and fine-tuned and expanded, and tested and fine-tuned and expanded, right? Because there is so much testing and optimization that has to happen in business, right? That's testing and optimization, specifically in this case of your target audience, what messaging resonates with them, what visuals resonate with them, what colors, right? There's such a broad scope of things that you could look at that to spend $1 million and then be asking yourself, is this working? That's red flag central. I don't care how big of an organization and enterprise you are, like you don't need to be spending that kind of money. I don't think you do. I think the smart way is get it honed in on these smaller scales, spend $250,000 to get it honed in, then spend $500,000, then 70, and then by the time you're at that million mark of money spent, it is honed in. You do know that it's been successful. So that's number one. Number two, how do you know that it's successful? Well, first and foremost, you're going to look at the highest level, are sales happening? If sales are happening and they can be attributed to your marketing, your messaging, your ads, whatever that is there, sales are happening, then you know that it's working. Now, when we get to the testing and the optimization, it's what ads or what content is working. Well, this one really resonated, and we actually saw a big spike in engagement in our video when we said this. Let's take this and actually now create an ad and test it and more content and double down on what's working. You also can look at, so there's impressions and views. That's fine. That's usually through the algorithms. So like, I don't pay attention to those because they're trying to help find your target market. What you really want to look at is your actual engagement. You want to look at your subscribes and or your follows from your content. And you want to look at, again, those actual sales. And so there's a big piece from the top of the funnel, which is awareness, down to the second part, which is your information gathering, to the final part, which is evaluation, to then actual conversions. So there are metrics within each of those areas that you can pay attention to, you can test and you can optimize to make sure it's working on that smaller scale, that then you can put the money behind it to blow it up because you know that it will work. The third thing that comes to mind on this is the second part of the funnel, which is, if we turned it outside, it's a bow tie. And that is your customer retention, your loyalty, your advocacy. Okay, So let's say that you've honed in the whole first part of the funnel and you're making sales like crazy. Awesome. It is honed in, it's working. Now you can look at, through your attribution model, like everything's solid. Now you can look at, okay, are they repeat customers? Are they coming back? Do they have loyalty to us? Are they advocating for us and our services, our products, our brand? If they're not, then it's like you found the ideal client to come in one and done, and maybe that's your business model and that's fine. But there's also more money to be had and less costs attached to keeping existing clients. So then you can look at, okay, what needs to change on our back end in our execution, our customer experience, to build this into a more sustainable revenue generating, not only constantly selling cold, but now with a warm and already built-in audience. And so that's a very distant second, or third, but you really do want to make sure that you're watching all of those metrics and getting them into the sales, and then paying attention to the metrics after the fact and continuing to get sales from that audience. But the largest piece, it's working if you're making money. If you're not making money, it's not working.
Yeah. So that's a very fine metrics, I think.